Okay. It says it's 3:52. Let's try and launch the actual show for 4 o'clock. We'll give time for people to show up and realize this is happening. I'm going to go on my secondary phone and see if I can see that this is live. Apologies for the mix-up. I tried to do something different and it just didn't work out. You know, sometimes I try and it just doesn't work out the way that I expect it to, and I get a little frustrated, but no need to be in an institution. They say it was the only solution. All right, nobody here. That's fine. That is okay. Need a second to catch my breath after that. What a debacle. What a I don't want to swear in the beginning of my stream, but it was a poop show. Side of the road looked great at 1 o'clock. I go there at 3:30 to do my show, and everything's changed. It would have been beautiful. It would have had the sunset behind me, just going behind the mountain, and just spectacular. Aesthetically, it was perfect. Literally, it was garbage. I can barely see in here, but I've got the sunglasses on for effect. I will be taking those off for the show. Let's see who is here. Let's see if I can find the stream. So apologies to anyone who was on the previous stream. Good news is I've moved up to 600 subscribers. I've met a trucker that pulled out at the pullout to wonder what I was doing. I told him I was broadcasting and he wanted to add me. So thank you to my newest follower. I have to look up to see what the chat says. This is not, I'm not going to keep these glasses on for much longer. But thank you for saying your comment. And in about 12 seconds, I should be able to see the comment myself. Okay, that's me. Dan D is live. So let's watch that. Turn down the volume. I've seen that happen before. Yeah, perfect. Emergency call. No, cancel that. Offer. Okay. Hey, Central Washington. Judy Girl is there. Hello. Hello, I am live. Edie Beatty is in a Zoom meeting. She'll catch the replay. Okay, that's cool. Good thing to make sure that you don't have me playing my sirens through your meeting. Okay, so we've got A to B here. Watching while she's cooking dinner for the stallion. And McCallum, try again. Yeah, that's going to be actually the theme of my inspirational message to start the show. You don't learn by not trying. So, okay, so we're live. Crack Pepper Madly picks up the Pickle Rick shirt. Yes, in honor of George. I'm saying hello, Rick and Morty. I don't care how many outfits that may have been cut up by Sarah Boone. I am sporting the Pickle Rick. Yeah, check it out, Morty. I'm a pickle. Why do you want to be a pickle, Rick? Okay, so we've got our sound effects. Going to try these out. I see Dave D is in the bubble bath. All right. Bath responsibly. What else do I have in my bag of tricks? We do have a little bit of time. Let's just go through the agenda. My plan, and I did make a plan, so my plan is for this to be a quick one. The A block is going to be a shout out to a couple of creators who caught my eye this week. Maybe even a third. I might throw in a third. It's not on the notes, but yeah, there's a third. Okay, we'll do 3 creators. I'm doing some comment, read, and reactions. Let's just say hello to whoever else is here. We've got our Bubble Bath Dave. Robin the ADR Pro says happy Friday night. Cheers. Judy Girl, heard you mention the mountains. On nice days, I get nice views of Mount Rainier and Mount Adams. Beautiful. I grew up in Vancouver, so Mount Baker was the big American mountain that we could see from town. But yeah, Rainier, I used to see on the side of the Rainier cans. They had that commercial too, where it was just a motorbike that would go, Rainier beer. You know, it was an 80s commercial. Lakeisha Prio says, hey, Dan D, True Crime. I say, hello, Lakeisha. Welcome to the Ramble. Tonight's ramble, it's going to be a little bit abrupt. I've got hockey to go to tonight, and I'm still recuperating from that debacle, which was the side of the road ramble, which I thought was going to be great. I thought I had the lapel mic. I'd be able to use the sock to take away the sound. I'm like, why don't people broadcast from outside? Why don't they do something a little different? And now I found out why. But still, it's worth trying. Cracked Pepper Madley says, had a blast last night throwing out redonkulous old murderers and killer couples with you and Suma and chat. That was a great chat with Suma. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things now about this community. Initially, every video, like I went in like, I needed to know something, and maybe Tanika set me up for that because she was always bringing the receipts early. But now I as much am looking forward to just who's going to be in the chat and what kind of random stuff is going to come up. And it's nice to have a Sarah Boone topic to talk about, but we don't need it. It's just a nice frame of reference that we can all use to dissect other people, and kind of brings us all together. So that's one of my things that I love about this community, and joining chats and spending hours just chit-chatting with everyone. Judy Girl does remember the Rainier beer. All right, so where are we at here on time? 3:58. I'm 2 minutes away. Maybe I should just settle in so that I'm prepared for the next aspect of our chat. Yeah, okay. Give me a second. You guys just talk amongst yourselves. I will, I'm trying to get myself set up here. Do a share, copy. And actually, if you guys want something to do while I'm setting up, this is a little experimental. YouTube's probably going to think, what the hell is he doing to lose all his viewers? But go to the link I posted, watch it, come back. It's what we're going to be chatting about at the beginning of the Friday Night Ramble. Since we only have a minute and a half, 1 minute is enough to watch that video and come back. So this minute is sponsored by Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons, not bad coffee. Top 5. Well, top 5 amongst franchises in Canada that focus on donuts and coffee as their menu, but still top 5. All right, where are we at here? Okay, glasses off. We're ready to party. Okay, let's just count it down. The time is already gone, but everything's messed up anyway, so we'll pretend. Got about 6 seconds, 6, 5, 4. It's exciting, isn't it? Let's get ready to ramble! Woo! We are live for the Friday Night Ramble with your host, Dan D. It was 6:30 in New York. It was 5:30 in Chicago. It's even later now. We were an hour away from sunset when I started this stream. We're practically there at this moment. I'm no longer on the side of the highway, but I still am in my small mountain town. Let's start rambling. All right, so we're starting this ramble out with a shout out to AG Tactical, and I'm going to post that link once again. Anyone who has not seen this short, you have a minute and a half to watch this short. We'll give it 2 minutes. So right now, 4:01. Next 2 minutes, I'm not going to talk about anything but Tim Hortons coffee. Go watch the short. YouTube's going to be like, what the hell is he talking about that he lost all his viewers in the first 30 seconds? But go watch it. I really think, well, no, I'm not going to talk about it. We'll talk about it when you come back. Right now, Tim Hortons. So Tim Hortons went downhill. Like, they used to bake donuts in the morning. You could smell them. Like, you'd be walking to school and like, oh, there's donuts. But then, God, it's long ago now. It feels like, a few years ago, probably been 20. They started shipping in frozen donuts, and they just bake them pre-made in store. They're just warming them up or basically defrosting them. They're not bad, but I don't know. This doesn't, well, it doesn't look bad. That actually shows up quite well on camera. But the honey cruller, this was a thing of beauty in the past. And, it's not bad. Same with their coffee, not bad. Um, Starbucks really raised the bar for fast food coffee. And even then, like, it's too strong. But before Starbucks, everyone was drinking Robusta coffee, which was a really thin, kind of Brazilian. Um, Oh, yeah, by the way, Tim Hortons, this is our Canadian chain of coffee, as you can see by the flag on the back. It's no longer Canadian. It's owned by Wendy's or, some conglomerate. So now it's just Canadian in feel. But yeah, it's our coffee and donuts chain. It was named after Tim Horton, who was a hockey player for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Started the franchise, and it's quite an inspirational story if you look at the business building aspect of it, and how, actually, if you've watched Wayne's World, Stan McKitka Donuts is totally based on Tim Hortons. Regardless, I've given you enough time to watch it. If you guys are back, what do you think of the AGT? It's a long video. It's about 30, 40 minutes. He's following phone call 9 about the fire ants. And, the clip that I'm showing, he's just listening, and you can just see his face like, what's happening here? Why are you editing out in the middle of a sentence, or not even the middle of a sentence, but middle of a thought? You can clearly tell that that something was said to Sarah in between the two snippets that AG Tactical kind of made a face at. And he comes back to his stream, and that's what I wanted to highlight and animate and make a point of. But I really appreciate some of these bigger creators taking the time to just ask themselves, what am I listening to here? Who put this out? What's the motivation for putting it out in this format, in this way? So shout out to AG Tactical. If you're not familiar with him, and I don't know how you'd be familiar with me without being familiar with him, but if you're not familiar with him, go subscribe. The Sarah Boone coverage is what first caught my attention for his channel. But since then, he's done some really great Mackenzie Shirilla videos. He does lives where he's just drinking with, I think it's his sister. Like, there's a couple of times I've tuned in, and just seems to be fun, casual hanging out. So great channel if you're not already subscribed to it. We're going to move on to shout out number 2, Ryan's Real Reactions. So Ryan's Real Reactions, all one word, all just Ryan's Real Reactions. I can probably get a clip. If anyone in the chat wants to post it, by all means, shout them out in the chat. But the video I saw most recently is him reacting to a Tanika's 2 cents video. Tanika 2 cents video. That's the name of the channel, but the 2 cents belong to Tanika's. Anyway, getting sidetracked. The Tanika channel, Tanika video, went into some of the initial problems that Sarah's facing in prison. And watching it, I just appreciated seeing a creator react to something where I knew the content was authentic. And yeah, so if you haven't seen Ryan's Real Reactions, he's doing he's going back and checking the catalog from the beginning. He wants to catch himself up. So check out Ryan's Real Reactions. What's going on in the chat? Nothing new in the chat. Okay, good. Well, not good. If you guys want to chat, by all means chat. But the third video I was going to mention came from the Comm Center. And this one I was emailed, I think it's about 7 or 8 months ago. The channel, the Comm Center, did it was a live broadcast, but fairly deep dive, like a prepared live broadcast anyway, not the loose ramblings that you get from me. But yeah, really good Sarah Boone coverage, and from outside of our circle of creators. So great one to watch if you just want to see things from a different take. So yeah, the Comm Center, that's my third shout out for today. We're going to go into some comment read and reactions from my exclusive phone calls. Quickly step in with the chat. I see there's a couple more comments here. From David Darish. What question would you ask Sarah Boone if you had the chance? I mean, seriously, I'm not interested in talking to her. Like, there's some things that, would be interesting to ask from a provocative angle, just to see how she'd react. Um, I mean, if I was from totally self-serving, I would say, have you seen the Dan D True Crime channel, Sarah? And then if she hadn't, then she'll just be burning her up, wondering what it is. If she has, then she probably wouldn't be happy. Um, but yeah, asking her questions is almost pointless because the answers are never going to be the truth. So then it becomes, a detective hunt of figuring out how her answer, what elements of the truth that she based her lies on. And yeah, she's not an easy person to question. That said, anyone else who questions her, I am loving listening to the raw audio of those conversations and pulling it apart and, making my own audio if I want, or there's all kinds of different ways to go. A to B says, rest in peace to any unfortunate fire ants that chewed on Boone's head. And very quickly on that, I don't think they were fire ants. I think she had cooties of some sort, like bed lice, scabies, just, yuck kind of stuff. And she's probably complaining about it to another inmate who thought it'd be funny to say, oh, fire ants. Fire ants? I don't think it's fire ants. I didn't see any fire ants. Yeah, definitely fire ants. We have that problem here. And then from that moment on, even though she probably wouldn't give, yeah, bed bugs, exactly. Even though she wouldn't give the credit to the person telling her fire ants, that so and so told me, now she's just internalized that as her knowledge. Like, oh, it's 100% fire ants. I saw 12 of them the other day, 3 on my friend. I counted the bites. They're all fire ant bites. I did minuscule bit of research, but apparently fire ants aren't real big on attacking humans for food. They're much rather look for a stash of food, like, say, an order of nachos where you stash half of them away in a rusted drawer and cover them with newspaper. That's how you get ants. If you want ants, that's how you get ants. Crack Pepper Madley says, love the comm center of Boone. Fantastic. So we have some consensus there. Unicorn Rancher says, hope everyone is doing well. Cracked Pepper Madley brings up the bed bugs. And Lakeisha, yeah, lice. Something yucky, something contagious, something that's common in prisons. The other thing that I thought was really kind of funny, stupid about that call was Peter weighing in, like, he's the expert documentarian, the expert animal rescue. And, oh, fire ants must be coming in through the window. Like, yeah, she's in a sealed cell. Like, it's concrete. How many other openings are there? Oh, it's the window. Thanks, Peter. Useful. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to leave the chat for a little bit. So let me just take track. Lakeisha talking about lice. That's where we'll come back. Should I come back to that conversation? And let me just go into my videos. We're going to do block B. We're going to start reading the comments to my calls. If you're not familiar with these calls, I'm basically sick of the calls that are being released by the competitor channel that had exclusive access to Sarah. And basically, I'm making my own exclusive calls using the audio that I've called from her interrogations, the car interview, the body cam footage, and using it to humorous effect to show how easy it is to edit audio if you are the only one in control of all the audio. It's also a lot easier to ask the questions that will have, that make you look good, which I assume my questions make me look good in my videos, because I already know the answer she's going to give. And that's the same thing that I feel like the editor of the calls that are being released is doing to try and make himself look like a good guy. Oh, that's a bad idea, Sarah. Okay, thanks for your input. Anyway, we're going to go into the comments. There's 51 of them here. That probably means there's 25 of them with 25 replies from me. We will go in order except for the pinned comment, which we'll save for last. So it starts with Margie 420. Good morning, Dandy. We are humongous and gigantic fans of Suma. Little Birdie said you are too, and that's where I heard about you. Just kidding. But I see you in the but saying I see you in the but I see you in the comments makes me sound like a stalker. Okay, I'll get better at reading by the third or fourth one. I say thank you. Your detective skills are on point. I'm indeed a huge Suma fan. Glad to have you over here in my comments. Welcome to the party. And then Margie, this is a funny one because I'm sure this was a voice to text, and it says, Sephora watch everything that you've got. And I loved it. It's looking like you'll see me around. You're quite funny and keep me entertained because I'm in the hospital. It seems like I live here and I'm always on YouTube trying to find some entertainment. I thank you guys for that, Dan D. True Crime. And she immediately replies, and as you can tell, I had to use talk to text because I've had a couple of strokes, so please overlook the screw ups. And my response, my granddaughter loves, is that how you do hard hands? Loves, I feel like it, okay. Probably it would. Anyway, she loves Sephora. I'm betting that this was a voice to text and you meant to say, so far I watched. Love that I can bring you comfort there. All the best for your recovery. So, and that it stands true. Hope all's going well with you, Margie 420. Don't see you in the chat, so hopefully you're here on the replay. I comment that I beat her to the punch, but the only typos that I ever ridicule are from the trolls. And Margie does pipe up with, true though, Sephora is amazing. So there's a little plug for Sephora. If anyone wants to pay me for these advertisements, Tim Hortons, I will take a futuristic payment for this prioristic ad. Sephora, I know you've got the money, so a little bit my way wouldn't go so bad. Candace says, OMG, you and Sarah are practically besties. And yeah, that's part of the call. I definitely get a little bit friendly with Sarah. I don't know why we just hitting it off, but hitting it off. I never expected it, but that's what's happening, and I'm rolling with it. Paula Nichols says, the hairstyles are so awesome. Sarah is so unfortunate. Hera. Yeah, her Hera is Hera. Sarah's Hera. Well, that could be the beginning of something. Oh, Sarah's Hera. Excuse me. Just do a little. Sarah's Hera. It could become a haiku. Anyway, the hairstyles are so awesome. Sarah is so unfortunate looking. Her outside matches her inside perfectly. And that's a reference to the end of the video. The third rail is using like arrest footage from George. Actually, they're not using anything. They've taken all the videos off the site. But, or all the phone call videos. They've just left up the journals. Ooh, the journals are so fun. We'll get to the journals. The journals is coming. But yeah, so instead of running, I do a little B-roll of Sarah getting arrested, and then I move into B-roll of all of my shorts without audio. So the hairstyle montage was part of the video for that call. So I appreciate Paula Nichols for appreciating that. NK Did It says, sorry I missed it. Been up all night with my cat. She had to go to the vet today. Her face is swollen and my heart is aching. I immediately am quite sad about that too. Hoping it was something they could treat. Me and Cadillac send our best wishes. NK Did It said thank you very much. And I have checked in with NK Did It since then. And the cat had responded to treatment quite well. So good news there. B. Lumencraft says this is unrealistic because she doesn't say listen 7 times a minute. It's a good point. But I respond, and yet I can definitively say that this is 100% real Sarah audio in which she did not say listen 10 times in a minute. Who can you trust in this crazy world? And that gets a laugh from Lumencraft. Ha ha ha, it's crazy. CJ in PA says, really good stuff, Dan D. It's easy, and I mean relatively, to compile edited calls. I can't wait till we get to the I love yous. Friggin' weirdos. Who does that? Befriends a red rummer and tries to convince them to tell the truth? She ran circles around them, having them do her dirty work, and then they did as if they were going to get anything in return, and it certainly wouldn't have been a speck of truth. Excellent comment, CJ. I do mention that regarding the I love yous, I don't have the right to use their audio compilations just as they don't have the right to use my exclusive calls. But that said, I do have a plan for when the time comes to mock that emotional bond. Oh, this happened too. So I kept my word. On a totally separate topic, isn't Stevie Wonder great? I'd love to find a way to work one of his songs into a short. Maybe the one about the reason he made a phone call. I just called to say I love you. Do, 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 do. I just called. CJ and PA says, oh, okay, I understand about the I love yous. Sorry, when you're on this side of YouTube, you get confused. What's fair use? What's copyright? Blah, blah, blah. Stuff. And yeah, when Stevie just calls to say blank, he means it from the bottom of his heart. So you could critique the calls by interrupting, but you can't repurpose the audio to make something new? You don't need the audio anyway. There's already a treasure trove of unboggled boonerness out there. And I respond, yes, I could argue fair use, and I would probably win if I used their audio. But by not using one single second of their narcissists in the night, exchanging glances, shining each other on, what were the chances? The narcissists in the night phone calls, I'm free to say, and professionally, of course, fuck you, creative guys. Fuck you and your help for Sarah. You don't get to play in my yard. Fuck off. But, respectful and demure. I'm not an asshole. CJ and PA says, I'll take integrity every day over boonswaggling. I'll be watching and enjoying your content without having to side-eye or roll my eyes or snicker at its origins and just enjoy the laughter which my heart needs. After all, I've purchased your whole Christmas songs box set. Great interaction there with CJ and PA. Thank you for all of that. Going back. These are fun. I really like taking a little extra time. I know that, there's so much content out there. You don't have time to read all the comments all the time as viewers, but sometimes it's just nice to go back to familiar content and see what people said since you were gone. Hello to everyone who's still here. I see 27 people in the room. Thank you for sticking with me despite my false start by the side of the road. Curious Koi says, I'm tired of the craziness of Sarah's delusions, but your faux phone calls are creative and highly entertaining. Your content is amusing, and I don't feel the least bit bad about the extreme roasting of poor George's ex-girlfriend. Dandy True Crime says, love it, thank you. I'm hoping these calls show the other guys how much time and effort they wasted and continue to waste by rushing to the pulpit in an effort to understand Sarah through the use of comforts and aids. AIDS? Probably just aid. If they truly wanted to mock her, they could have just joined our team right from the outset. But nope, they went their own way. Lynette P. says, your wicked sense of humor is pure delight. Thank you. Xterret says, Dandy. I say thanks, XD. And Xterret follows up with, this is art. Had me laughing. And I continue it with love it. And the best part is, I still have hours and hours and hours of calls to post. I just need more B-roll and animal sound edits. Thank you for that, Derek. Juror number 3 says, another good one. Puts in the party hat. Summa cum loudmouth says, ha 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 ha. I don't know if that's exactly how she said it, but those were the letters. A DJ Farside. And I'm wondering, I've seen your name a few times before. Are you a DJ and like the band Farside? Maybe. ADJ Farside says, that was fantastic. You are so talented. Well, thank you, ADJ Farside. Lumiere says, thanks, Dan. Great job as usual. Keep up the good work. I give a thank you. Looking forward to more calls in 2026. And Janaski says, hello from central Alberta. This is absolutely brilliant. Just what I needed at 3:28 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. More, please. We got number 5 out since then, so I've satisfied my end of the bargain there. How late are we into this? We are 30 minutes into the stream. Okay, this is going well. If this goes too long, we might just stop after calls 4, and then I'll get into my my exclusive premiere. Make sure you stick around. There is a new short that it's unlisted right now, but I'm going to post the link in the comments. So anyone who has access to this chat, and you can share the link, that's fine too. But it's basically a 12-hour preview for people who watch the Friday Night Live. Plus, it'll give you a chance to leave the stream, come back and chat about it if you like. I'm liking messing with YouTube's algorithm to wonder why I'm having these drops if you guys all drop when I post the link. Yeah, so anyway, that's what we'll be doing. Kelly Loves George says, some of this is from our police interview. And I say, you are correct. Whenever I make these fake phone calls, I do try to include full source info for the original audio in the details or the more section of the more section of the description of the description. In this case, my description is, quote, all Sarah Boone audio was taken from public domain footage of her interrogation. Most of the audio comes from the 16 to 18 minute mark of Law and Crime's 2-hour YouTube video. Snippets about Kim come from 1 hour and 25 minutes or so. So that's me doing full disclosure again on my fake calls. Better disclosure than people who are releasing ostensibly real calls. But, you know, who am I to quibble? Not a quibbler. Little Line the Sky with Daisy says, ha ha ha, pure gold. RN2 Mum says, hilarious as usual. Hope to hear more phone calls between you and the killerer. Yep, they're coming. And to our pinned comment, this is it. This is the number 1 comment. No, that's not how we do it. Number 1 comment, bing, 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 bing. Vernon Alexander says, this is a trash video. My response is, thank you for watching and commenting. So that was that. Video 4. Let's do a quick check-in with the chat. Let me load this back up. That's the live. That's me snickering at myself because I'm in a delay. Lots of chatter here. Okay, we'll catch up on chat and then we'll get to phone call 5. Only 37 comments on that one, so it shouldn't take quite as long as this. Oh, there's lots of chatter. Okay, we're gonna need a little bit. Oh wow, it doesn't even scroll back all the way. Okay, so if I missed, oh no, that's the beginning. That's the beginning. So I missed the part. Where's Lakeisha saying something about lice was the last thing I talked about. Margarita is here. She wasn't here when I left, so it's before that. Colleen Michelle Crystal. Oh, there we are. There we are. Okay, caught back up again. Judy Girl. She's in Arizona. She got bit by fire ants and went into an anaphylactic shock. Throw an anaphylactic at me. Okay, but that's fine. I know how to pronounce anaphylactic. But still, that's impressive spelling too. Judy Girl was in Arizona, got bit by fire ants and went into anaphylactic shock. She had blue lips, wheezing, fast heart rate, and very low blood pressure. Wish Sarah Boone had that reaction. Robin the ADR Pro says, I'm busy training fire ants to do a conga line. And yeah, a great song for that is the latest fire ants song I did with the picture of Archer. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. We slaughtered termites just for fun, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. All right. The ants go march. I've had that in my head since making that video now. It's very catchy. Hurrah, hurrah. Hello, Colleen Michelle Crystal. A to B is laughing at Lakeisha, I'm sure for the lice. Judy Girl says, Sarah Boone's supposed journal writings that P is releasing really piss me off. Judy Girl, you're going to love where I'm going with the end of this. Hold that thought. I hate him for putting those out. He's a loser. You're so on point. I couldn't have asked for a better comment to foreshadow where I'm going after this. So hold that in mind. I'll read it again, even. It's so good. Judy Girl says Sarah Boone's supposed journal writings that P is releasing really piss me off. I hate him for putting those out. He's a loser. Meowgarita says, hello, fire ants. Popping in for a minute to say hey. Oh, she might already be gone then, but you can catch it on the replay, Meowgarita. Thank you for coming in to say hey. A to B says hello. Meowgarita says hi to A to B. Colleen says hi to Meowgarita. Meowgarita says, I'm sure Sarah will be a constant and loyal friend to me. Of course, yeah, she's never burnt bridges before. Meowgarita says hi to Colleen. Deb Richardson. Hello, Deb Richardson. She says, hello, sweeties. Meowgarita says hello to Deb Richardson. Meowgarita explains again, she's just here for a sec. She's got to go soon. Doesn't have time for this shit. This is too much froof. I wonder if she's still here. In any case, oh no, she's not here because bye, darlings. Came from Meowgarita here. Although, yeah, she's gone. Bye. See, Jackie Anderson popped up. So hello, Jackie Anderson, who I remember is named for Jackie Onassis. So I like to call her Jackie A. Deb Richardson says, Robin the ADR Pro, hello, very funny. Colleen Michelle says, bye, Meowgarita. Deb Richardson, hello to Colleen. Okay, maybe I may just skip some of the hellos. You guys have done the hellos yourself. You don't need me to read them. Michelle Fournier, that's a new person to the chat. I love you. Thank you for the laughs and keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Michelle, for making a comment and taking the time to let me know. Sometimes it gets a little lonely out here on the other side of the camera, but I truly appreciate every time I get a word like that. Are both creative guys behind Third Rail? This is a question from A to B. I have no effing idea. First time I did a Third Rail video, I did 3 people. I thought there was 2 brothers and the Peter guy. But then I found out, sadly, one of the brothers had passed. But still, why aren't they Delapine and Gunthal creative? Like, if I was Gunthal, I would be unhappy with being a partner in something that didn't have my name. But again, I don't want to cause a rift between them. Far be it for me to do that. The other thing, they have a third person on their about. So on their website, which is a terrible website, check it out anytime. Looks like it was built in like late 2000s by one of those companies that will give you a professional looking website, but there's no real content in it. Anyway, there is an about that lists 3 principles. 2 of them are P and J, but the third is not the butter. It's a female that might just work there and happen to have her name. Could be somebody. I don't know how she's involved. She hasn't shown herself to be involved with Sarah at all, so I have no reason to bring her into it. Kenny Rogers just dropped in to see what condition Sarah's condition is in. Great comment, Donna. Care for JC YouTube says, hi, Dan D. Hello, Care for JC. Deb Richardson throws a heart. Oh, no, I am reverse daddy. The only thing that's not reversed is the Canucks flag, and it's because I have that up backwards. One day I'll figure out how to do the mirroring, but I don't know how to do it. So I'm Pickle Rick. Right. Yeah. I should be able to figure out mirroring. There's no excuse for me letting it go that far. Judy Girl says, I needed this levity today. My hometown is in Minneapolis and in turmoil. You know what? I'm just going to take a second. We'll take 15 seconds for Minneapolis here. Fuck. Yeah. Okay, Dabs for Dummy. I haven't seen Dabs for a while. Says, there you are. Here I am. Did you watch the hit list one? The hit list one. Care for JC is asking, did I see the hit list one? Oh, yes. So the hit list, that was her letter. I read a version of it from Reddit, and again, ridiculous. Everyone from like the people who are supplying the prison food, Kevin Beck, who is like the lawyer that was zooming in from New Mexico and might have said in passing, "Hey, give me a call if you need anything." I need lots of things. Call Kevin Beck. I'll call him myself. Uh, so fucking crazy. Fucking lunatic. Um, did I miss last Friday night? Yes, Dabs. We did do one Friday night. I feel like we did. What was Friday? I'm sure I did one last week. It should be in my live on tape. If you ever miss one, I always will put these into the playlist that is live on tape. So yeah, you can watch it. And I also try and keep the live chats active. So if you want to watch and not wonder what I'm reacting to constantly, you can have the live chat open on the side. So much easier to keep up with when you're not actively chatting yourself. So by all means do that. Bloodbath still buffering. Oh, when I was up on the mountain, I was buffering like the whole. I did probably a 10-minute show and got back and heard from my mom that there was about 3 seconds of me turning the camera, and that's it. So, something. Oh yeah, inspirational. Take a second here. 100% of the things you don't try are unsuccessful. And even if 99% of the things you do try are also unsuccessful, the 1% is worth it. And the only way you're going to learn and increase that ratio is by trying things. So I went out today, I tried something new. Didn't work out, learned some things. Next time's going to be better. Might be also a failure, but if you live your whole life trying to avoid failure, what's the point of living? Life is about making mistakes, learning from them, and moving on. Unless you're Sarah, then don't learn from your mistakes. Just stay the exact same person you are for the rest of your natural life. That's the end of that inspirational moment. All right. Deb Richardson says all the great people are in the chat. Colleen says hi to Jackie. Bloodbeth says rest in peace, Renee. Renee, good. Yep. Rest in peace. And Deb Richardson says prayers for Judy. So that gets us caught up on chat. What part of the day are we in? We're at 4:30. That's enough time. We'll let chat weigh in on this. Do you want to hear one more call, or should we go directly to the unlisted video and do that? So I'll let you figure that out while I get the link for the unlisted video. I guess I can talk. I don't need to not talk. You guys can figure it out in chat while I'm talking. But so I get back to what I'm doing here. Okay. Bloodbath asks, who else fangirls over Dan D? Don't tell me, my head will just get, it'll swell. I won't be able to even wear the toque. It'll like massive. It'll be like this big head. Like, you can't have that. Keep me humble. Keep me humble. Okay. So what should we do? Should we do probably 20 more minutes of comment reads, and reactions, or go straight into the new short that you guys can watch and leave the chat and then return to the chat? Yes. Yes. So you want both. Both is an option. We can do both because both just means it takes a little longer to get to the chat. I'm not going to not release the new video. Flip a coin. You know what I can... what do I have here that's flippable? Well, flip a sound effect can. If it lands on the plastic lid, then that's... plastic lid is going straight to... You know what? We're just going to do both. There, that's the one. That's both. We're doing both. We're going live on both. Okay, so I need to go to videos. We'll watch call 5. Phone call 5. Okay, that's 5 minutes long. Oh, you know what? I'm even going to play a little of this. See how this works. Okay, you try something new. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Please state your full name, followed by your IQ, your fired lawyers, the number of snow white dwarves, and number of fire ant bites on your scalp to continue this call.
Sarah Boone, 101077.
Hey, Sarah, I've got a...
Okay, so that's call 5. The computerized voice is basically asking her to verify her identity, her IQ. God, what was her number of fired lawyers, the number of Snow White dwarves, and the number of fire ant bites on her forehead to continue the call. The answers are 10, 10, and 7, 7. So that's how that call starts. I had a good time doing it. I think I'm starting to really find my stride here. Every call I do, I get a little bit better at being able to manipulate the audio, which is surprising that Third Rail and Company are just as shitty 10 calls in as the first call they released. But again, who am I to judge? Who am I? All right, here we are. Newest comment, which means the oldest comment. We're starting with LZB, who is the first one to comment and says, "We straight A students were having too much fun in the last live chat." So what she's talking about, and this is technical difficulties again, I tried to launch this immediately after Danielle Chavon's live. I think it was on a Wednesday morning. Yeah, probably Wednesday morning. Anyway, Danielle had told me that hers was probably 45 minutes. So I scheduled mine for 55 minutes after the hour, thinking that would be plenty of time. I could shamelessly plug it at the end of her live, and everything would be hunky-dory. Anyway, as hers was going on, I'm like, there's no way she's going to get through. She's still got to talk about Gypsy Rose. She's still talking about Anna Kepner. How's this going to be done? And so I pushed mine back by 5 minutes, and then I did it by 5 minutes more. Well, that's how I ended up on 55. I think I started at 45. In any case, whatever the last one I did coincided with a YouTube outage for the APAC region, which is Asia Pacific, which is huge. It's basically, everything from Russia and all of North America. So APAC is a big chunk. Anyway, there was a problem with things going live. I didn't know that at the time. So everyone from Danielle's chat, Danielle's telling people, hey, let's go see Dan D. Let's support him. And everyone's excited. They all went to the chat. They're all chatting amongst themselves, straight A students having a good time. And I'm looking at the countdown timer, and that little song is playing in the background, and it's 157, 159, 158, 157, reset. 159, 158, 157, reset. And it kept showing that same 3 seconds, which ironically is the same thing that I think happened to my live from the side of the road. In any case, chat was having a great time. I'm frustrated. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm trying to, why isn't it launching? I'm thinking my video is just going to get lost. And it was another, I don't know, it's kind of a reminder back to that inspirational, sometimes let things go. People were having a good time. I could have, if that chat, hung up for 12 hours and people started just chatting it up in there, oh my God, this is the chat that will not end. It goes on and on, my friend. That could have been something worth talking about. But no, I got frustrated. I deleted it. I relaunched it, and it did work 10 minutes later. But yeah, bit of a learning experience for me to realize sometimes just accept the way things are going. You might have meant to make a souffle, but you can smash all that up and serve it with ice cream, and it still tastes good. So took a little bit longer on that one than I expected, but that was my experience with the launch of this phone call. I was really proud of it, and then frustrated that it didn't launch perfectly. But in hindsight, I think that the troubles actually taught me a few things, and who knows, this call could end up being one of my most popular ones. So RN2 Mom says, and this shows that I had nothing to worry about, just let the people find it in their own time. Hilarious as usual. Love your Sarah Boone interviews. Keep them coming. Since Sliced Bread says George's autopsy revealed that he hadn't eaten in the previous 48 hours. And that's the sad. And Addie asked, didn't she say that she'd made him steak? And I correct. Steak dinner was from sword fighting with the steak knives night. when Sarah almost died from a wound to her calf that showed as a divot on her shin. And Addie says, okay, thank you. Of course, we know it didn't happen, but I didn't remember when it didn't not happen. So, and since Sliced Bread says, another meal that didn't happen. Sarah got her wound scar from drunkenly crashing into her glass table on the back porch. Her property manager can verify this. Talk to anyone. Talk to the property manager. Talk to the property manager. Talk to the property manager. Has anyone talked to the property manager? Another one to say adds, that's why it made a crunching sound when he supposedly stabbed her in the leg. Yeah. Yeah, the old stab and crunch sound. B. Lumencraft loves the listen, says, listen, darling, you have no idea. They ate Chardonnay. And I'm not going to use this too much, but there's a voice reply function on YouTube, so I gave it a shot.
No, you listen. You listen. 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 Just listen. Listen. Just listen. Listen. All right, I feel guilty about taking up this much of your time already.
All right, so yeah, not the most effective use of voice messaging, but it was there. Tried it. Polynomial Purebred says rescues for single cat sanctuaries are good things. I have one myself. And that's a reference to later in the video. I asked for donations to my Patreon, which doesn't exist. I don't have a Patreon. I do have a single cat animal rescue foundation here in the house, but it's basically the same as just having a cat. It's really no difference at all between having a cat and having a single cat animal sanctuary. Winter Lake has a rescue sanctuary for a purebred, high-maintenance Pomeranian with sensitive skin. She's receiving donations as well for monthly grooming appointments. And asks Winter Lake, are you sub to Girl with the Dogs? She has 2 in her tribe, kind of 3, and groom them on her channel. So there's a little shout out I didn't expect to do for Girl with Dogs. Check it out if you are a fan of YouTube channels about girls and dogs. Edie Beatty says, another banger, friend. The animal sounds are savage. You're my kind of guy. And that's where I respond. If it walks like a duck and it drinks like a fish, it's Sarah Duck and Boone. That was the inspiration for my Sarah Duck and Boone meme on my community page, if you didn't notice that. Another one to say says, note to self, it's dangerous to drink coffee, watch Dan D, and read the comments. Thank you for the spit take that, yeah, you don't fake those. That means I'm entertaining. Deb Richardson throws a lot of emojis my way, including fire ants and hearts and wine glasses. You are on fire, Dan D. Thank you. Feeling it. Gumboot says Sarah in bondage and really enjoyed the clip from 35 minutes to 1:30. Oh yeah, so that's the arrest footage B-roll. This is always interesting thing about this. Notice how short the girl is that's bringing her in. You see how tall Scott is compared, but we know how short Sarah is. So kind of I thought it was interesting how height challenged the transport officer is. She seemed a lot bigger in the room when Sarah was sitting down. What do we have? I think that's about it. And Janaski says, I hope you have as much fun making these as we have enjoying them. Thank you. I think it's about even. I definitely smile to myself quite a bit while I'm making these, and I'm a little concerned sometimes that I think it's funnier than it is, but you guys let me know that we're on the same page. This is all amusing. Daniel Chavon weighs in with some happy face emojis and crying, laughing face emojis. And the final comment, this one I pinned. SJ Sheila says, oh my God, Dan, this is so freaking funny. I'm here at work and almost spit out my coffee a couple of times. So yet again, the spit take, that's, next to peeing your pants, it's one of the most authentic forms of proof that something was actually funny. Don't pee your pants, please. Although Sarah peed her pants in the pantry, but it was George's fault. If you pee your pants because of me, it's my fault. Here's my voice response.
I've never used this before, but it says I can voice reply, so here's my voice. Calls, I'm glad you're enjoying them. They'll keep coming as long as there's material out there. There's calls for me to edit. Yeah, won't be ending anytime soon.
Okay, that was my first voice reply, and tell the truth, I'm not terribly impressed by voice reply, so I don't know how many of those I'll do. I know if you're watching a video, you can't read the voice reply, so I don't know how useful they are, but it's personal, so maybe for the right ones, like if I'm gonna like sing a response or something like that, that might be good. But yeah, won't be using them too often. Okay, so now is the time to let's catch up with chat. But now is going to be the time that I launch my new short to the chat. I see 30 of you here, so I would love to see 30 views by the time this gets uploaded. Your videos. And you know what? I'll upload it now, and then we'll check back with the chat. And if anyone leaves, all I'm doing is reading the chat that you guys probably already read. So unless you're really holding out for me to read your comment, just go and see this video and then come back and I'll read the new comments. And you can always watch me read the original comments on the replay. Okay, so that's that. Go here, back to the chat. All right, volume down. Just in case I wanted to know what I was saying 2 seconds ago. Okay, here we are. So that is the link to my latest short. Go ahead and watch it now. I see the time says 56 minutes. So 57. So from 57 to 59, we won't talk about anything serious. By all means, go and enjoy it. I'm just going to scroll back and try and figure out where we are in the chat. Say hello to anyone who's joined us recently. Okay, Meow Garita. So if I see Meow, that means I've gone too far back. Hit list, okay. Jackie Anderson, Bloodbath, fangirling over me. Oh, that's so... I definitely don't need that for my ego. I love it though. But yeah. Okay, so people fangirling over Dandy. That's flip a coin. How do I join a member? No memberships, Colleen. I am barely I'm over the subscriber count for needing a membership, but I still need more watch hours to qualify for it. I'm not going to launch memberships until I hit 1,000 subscribers. And even then, only if I can think of added value. At this point, I'm struggling to come up with value. So I don't want to have to do added value on top of value, or make people feel like they're getting a less experience from me. I'm saving the best stuff for members or something like that. So when memberships come up, whatever the minimum is that I can charge, I'll probably charge that. I might not even have memberships even once I do qualify for that. I might just live off the ad revenue. But there'll be a point where, I'll add it for people who, really want, but I need to think of something that I can offer. So it might be that, members can, request, I don't know, certain videos, or I haven't thought about it enough, so I don't know what to offer members. And until I do, I'm not going to charge money for it. Another one to say says, perfect. I'm doing awesome. Yeah. Okay, good. Deb Richardson. Yes, you're getting better and better. Thank you, Deb Richardson. I really like how this is going to be a little bit of a time capsule. By the end of the year, I'm looking forward to seeing how even this live, like, what I've got here, this is better than it was a month ago. But I'm sure this is going to be like where people, I remember when you had the Canucks flag and the backward letters. And yeah, I'm already can picture a nostalgia for every stage of growth, and I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to enjoy every step. I see Meowgarita is back. There was plenty of Meowgarita hellos and goodbyes and reads earlier, and we'll get caught up with you again in the future. Meowgarita, what is going on now, though, is people have left to watch this link. I'm basically just, I've been rambling. I was going to ramble until 59 minutes into the stream, which was a minute ago. So anyone who has watched that and come back, we're about to discuss the video. Eurythmics is the music for it, exactly. And yeah, I'm kicking it up a notch. I think the journals, as Judy Girl brought up earlier, they piss me off. Every time I see one of these journals, I'm like, fuck, man, fucking piece of shit. Like, and they can release this. They don't even have to, oh, well, we don't know if it's true or not, but here it is in the interest of transparency. Okay, well, I'm going to be fucking transparent. I've got an exclusive deal with the journal releaser herself. And, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Who knows? But unlike the phone calls where I at least have to work with her audio, fake journals, I can say whatever I want. I'm pretty good at emulating her writing style. I know that I just need to do a lot of hanging prepositions or versions thereof. But yeah, so that's my thinking is if they want to keep putting out journals and slandering George's family and, taking no responsibility for it aside from saying, we don't know if it's true. What can you do? I didn't mean to give them the correct, because that's not the correct response to that. But yeah, there will be journals coming out. I don't know exactly how the journals will come out. Maybe they'll initially come out as shorts, and it'll just be a little snippet of text here, a little snippet of text there. But I know it'll be nasty. She's not nice, so it's not going to be, oh, the documentarians were so good to me. I got honey buns every Friday. Oh, my diabetes was like stable for the first time ever. Oh, I just really love those guys, and I miss them so much. No, that's not what. Not going to be in the journals. It's going to be the revisited remembrances of being screwed over, and it'll be magnified. I'm going to read them, but I think what I'm going to do, and Meowgarita asks, are you going to read them or comment or both? I might. See, I still haven't totally decided. A part of me wants to do them as the AI voice and just, get a cheap female AI voice and just have that read what I'm writing. The problem with that, and I learned this from doing parodies of their phone calls, is that shit. Like, if anyone is just scrolling through YouTube and here's the first few seconds, I don't want to listen to this. Fuck. And that's what I found with the first phone calls I was doing. People were scrolling away because of the animal montage. Like, this isn't interesting. Don't want to watch this. So I've learned to parody them without stooping to their talent level. Yeah, I can make fun of their lack of talent without necessarily emulating it perfectly in my videos. So the AI voice, that's a consideration, but I really don't know. Yeah, I might also release the videos and then comment on them as though they were released by a different creator and pretend that, I'm one step removed. It's going to be, it'll be messy. Whatever it is, it'll be messy. And the people who are releasing journals full of lies will hopefully get a little food for thought and think, damn, do I want to keep putting out these journals of lies and getting lies told about me? I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it. All right, so let's go back to the chats to see what people think of my idea. Where am I scrolling back to? I see Addie is me is here. All right, we have a moderator in the chat. You guys all better watch out. Addie has the power. She can silence you. That said, don't need to silence anyone. As long as it's respectful, I don't even mind a little bit of good-natured trolling. If somebody gets out of hand or out of sorts, we don't want that. So put them in timeout. But, not life in prison without parole. Just give them 20 seconds to think about what they've done. 30 seconds. Care for JC says, nice short. Boom. Okay. I appreciate that you guys liked it. Bloodbath, things are better now than a month ago, but that could change anytime. Exactly. Care for JC says, I believe she is that nasty. And yeah, you don't have to stretch much to think of the nastiness. Another one to say says, it's great to see you learn and grow, and honor too. And I'm honored by your presence in my humble beginnings. Yeah, upgrades are coming, but the fact that you're with me through the growing is, it won't be forgotten. Thank you. Another one to say says, I get more angrier at Sarah each time. And I would like to say I agree, but I think that doing this channel has been so cathartic to me that now I'm starting to have ups and downs where, I do get angry, and then I'll release something and I'm like, she's so funny. So yeah, I think I'm starting to find a nice homeostasis as far as my Sarah Boone hate is concerned. Addie is me says, yes, if they are true, then she stole any stories. And that's a great point is, she's got nothing to do but listen to stories in prison. So I'm sure she's hearing other girls' stories and thinking, oh, that sounds better than my story, or that bit is better than my story, or my story would be better if I included something like that. So yeah, and that's another thing that, the journals, a proper journal, you write down, January 7th. Is it the 7th? No, it's probably the 9th or something now. Whatever. January 2026. I did a live stream. I went to the side of the road and it didn't work and I was buffering. And then somebody said that there's fangirls that are fangirling over me and I got all blushy. But that's what you put in a journal, and then you could revisit it and go, oh yeah, that's what I was thinking that day. These aren't journals. These are reimaginings of events with way more detail than she had the first time she told the story or the second time. And nobody's memory gets better over time. Like at best, everything's intact, but you don't remember things later that you couldn't remember 5 years ago. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but I'm sure we all agree that her memory is, her memory's shit, but she lies, and now then she remembers her lies, and that becomes her memory. Margarita, we agree that they're messy for sure. Yeah. Chimp Overlord, good idea, bro. Hey, Chimp Overlord, I haven't seen you in my chats before. I know that he's got a channel. If you like video game playthrough content, check out Chimp Overlord. It's not Sarah Boone coverage at all, but there's not everybody here only follows Sarah Boone. So if you like to watch a little playthrough of current video games, usually rated M for mature, so a lot of stuff that it might be on the age filter. But in any case, check out Chimp Overlord for that. Meowgarita says hi to Deb Richardson. A to B says messy is good. Another one to say says she stole those stories to be sure. They're true in that sense only. George didn't do any of those things to her. Great point. Another one to say. And yeah, so anything that rings true, the reason is probably it was true for someone else. Deb Richardson says, that's why we watch these amazing people. Give it to Sarah. Another one to say. Meowgarita says, engaging with you while you grow is enough for a few people to have a really good time. At least 2 people to have a really good time. But yeah, we've got 35 people here having a really good time. Let's drink to that. Chimp Overlord, my content is very shocking. So go in forewarned. I think one of the, not too recent, but I know he was doing, there's a game where you play like a medical examiner and you have to do like autopsies of bodies, like cadavers in a kind of dingy funeral director's basement. Anyway, fun content if that's the sort of thing you're looking for. If it's not, probably isn't. Deb Richardson says hello to Meowgarita. Addie says, okay, we you guys can talk to each other. Meowgarita says she definitely stole Terrifying Love and self-snitched in the journal. that's pretty messed up too, to have a book that details what you're claiming is your defense. Like, be like if OJ Simpson went to his trial with a copy of If I Did It. Okay, we're caught up on chat. Last thing, any questions now? Like, this is about time for me to shut it down, but any last minute questions or requests or that sort of thing? Otherwise, we will shut down in the next 2 to 3 minutes. I've got hockey to go to tonight. If you are subscribed to my Dan D Reads Public Domain channel, there will be a read possibly tonight. Okay, Bloodbath, I'll get to that. Possibly tonight, if not tonight, tomorrow night. If it's tonight, it's going to be, a semi-inebriated read, but I only have like 3 or 4 beer at the hockey games, so it might be Robinson Crusoe tipsy read tonight. So if you're subscribed to Dan D Reads Public Domain, keep an eye out for live. I'm not going to pre-schedule it. I'll just do it when I'm ready. I'm kind of a little shy about doing it and don't want there to be huge crowds because the text is tough. It's from 1600s, and if you think reading Shakespeare's tough, this is also difficult. But I'm also was really enjoying the story, so I want to go back to the first chapter, try and read 3 of them, which will take about an hour and a half. But by all means, check that out if that's something you're interested in. Bloodbath wants to know where babies come from. Well, I'm sure we all know this. Basically, there's a mommy and a daddy, and they love each other. And one day when they have enough money to be able to raise a baby, a stork comes and delivers one onto their doorstep and says, baby for you. And I'm pretty sure that's it. That's what I was told. What else is going on? Babies came from storks. Meowgarita wishes best of luck to me and my team at hockey. Yes, the local team is doing well. Tonight they're playing the top team in the BCHL. We'll see. Beer is okay on a Friday. That's when you have a good time, when you don't have to get up the next day. Exactly. Or a glass of wine, whatever. But especially, on the weekend when you don't have to get up the next day. Again, so I'm going to have to pause on that. She always is self-snitching on herself. How can you say when you don't have to get up the next day when she's in an interrogation room precisely because her boyfriend did not get up the next day after a weekend of excess? Like, literally did not get up the next day. And she's like, when you don't have to get up the next day. It's fucking disgusting. Meowgarita says, I love ye old English. It relaxes me. Just makes me more interesting. Suma says, hey, late. Hello, you are quite late, Suma. We're shutting her down quite soon, but I appreciate you getting here. I previewed the latest video explaining my journal direction. So if you're a fan of the arithmetics, check out this link. I'll paste it one last time here. That way anyone who stuck it out and wants to see it before this ends can go there. You probably have enough time to go there, watch it, and come back. Yep, just in time, Suma. Just in time for the goodbyes, the romper room. Hey, I see Suma there. I see Winter Lake. I see Candace through my looking glass. I see Meowgarita out there. The wrap-up is coming soon. Deb Richardson says the stork brings the babies from the Cabbage Patch. So, yeah, I don't know why there was any confusion, but thanks for asking, Bloodbath. Somebody might not have known that, and now they know. Winter Lake says, I'm joining, not going. Bloodbath says, have a beer for us. Okay, we'll make it 5 tonight. So 4 for me and 1 for you guys. Suma says some hellos. If you don't see Suma in the chat, it's probably because you have all messages not toggled and top messages on. Very important when you're joining, especially these Sarah Boone chats. It's community. We're small. There's not so many of us that we need chat to be filtered. So don't let YouTube choose whose comments you're seeing. Always be on all messages. And I'm on top messages. Okay. Well, it's a little late for me to switch, but all messages. Apologies to anyone I missed. You know what? I was on all messages before. It was only when I cut out to get my my video link. In any case, it's important though. It always defaults to top. So if you leave, you're gonna just not have access to people. So it's frustrating, and I wish they could, let you toggle how you'd like it to be. Um, but unless you're going to like a law and crime, 1,000-person chat, no need to do it. So, all right. Margarita says, makes me more interested, trying to humble brag, not brag, brag, brag. Okay. So I'll stop pushing how shitty the public reads are. They're not that shitty. They're mediocre shitty. They're getting better. Um, yes, Judy girl, you had the 1947 copy of Robinson Crusoe, and I remember you saying there was another book that you had that was like, God, 1920s or something. I can't remember now, but yeah, it's there's so much good public domain stuff out there, so it's going to be fun to explore all that with you. Winter Lake says that babies are printed. Okay, so maybe that's new with the 3D printing. I'm not aware of that, but it's probably more efficient than sending storks. You can just 3D print the babies and send them out that way. Link for the reading channel. That's a good point, Deb Richardson. Let me see if yeah, I am subscribed to it. Oh no, it's my channel, so I'm not subscribed to it, but switch it. Switch account. Dan D reads public domain. Okay. Here we go. Channel, view channel, share channel, share. Oh, then I have to go all the way back. Oh no, maybe. No, I do have to. Oh, maybe I can watch this chat. I can. So I'm even going to post the link from my new channel, so you'll get both. Okay, yeah. I had to agree to my community guidelines, which are awesome, by the way. Okay, so Dan D Reads is my handle for the public domain channel, and that post that just went up is also me. So yeah, that's that. Thank you, Deb Richardson, for reminding me to share that. Oh, Tanika made it now too. So Tanika 2 Cents is here. It's a shame that I'm leaving, but I am leaving eventually. My plan is not to go to sleep. My plan is to go to hockey. Hello, Tanika's 2 Cents. My dad's high school English literature. Okay, Judy Girl clarifies the other old text she has is a copy of Gone with the Wind, her dad's high school English lit book. I remember the whole time growing up, Gone with the Wind, every time they would do like the 100 best motion pictures, that was perennially number one. And then right around the time, and don't want to shit on woke, but when people started getting a little bit more awake to some of the underlying themes, that was the end of Gone with the Wind being the number one movie of all time. But that said, you need growth. You can't just keep having a movie from 1937 as the number one of all time. But yeah, that's me weighing in on Gone with the Wind. Change the all messages. And we're approaching the end of the stream. We're very, very close. And thank you for everyone to help get me to the 50. I don't even know. It keeps telling me right now that it's 24 hours before my live will be activated on the other channel. I think that there's been enough time. I'll check it after the stream, but I can't confirm it. Thank you, Addie is me. She's posted another link to the Dan D Reads. "12 Angry Men." That's a great one. The play for that too. Yeah. 12 Angry Men is a story, if you're probably all familiar with it, but I'll summarize it quickly. It's a story of just a basic jury. It's 12 people and they're undecided on a case. So it's showing the deliberations. And yeah, no, you don't have to apologize to me for Gone with the Wind. I don't miss that it's not number one, but I just remember growing up and assuming that it must be really good. And then sort of realizing that, it wasn't all it's cracked up to be. There's things to appreciate, but anyway, getting back to Uh, 12 Angry Men. Yeah, it's a great. I think it was a stage play that got turned into a movie. And maybe it was a book, but it's basically 11 people all feel the same way about the case. One person is like, yeah, I don't know, and it gets so bad that the I don't know guy now gets 10 guys on his side, and maybe it's going to go the other way, but now it's 11-1 the other way, and the guy's like, I can't sign on to that. So if you want to watch a great older piece of literature, watch an older piece of literature. If you want to watch 12 Angry Men based off of older literature, it's excellent. I enjoyed it. I remember some black and white version with a young version of an actor that I only was familiar with as an old man actor. And I say old man because I was probably 15 when I saw it, and anyone that was over 30 was old. But anyway, that's 12 Angry Men. Judy Girl, or no, we're going to go back a little further. Tanika 2 Cents says, "Hey Addie, I am getting easier day by day, figuring out the new normal. How are you?" Another one to say says, "No," which I don't know what she's referring to now, but I might have said something. Oh, maybe it's about Gone with the Wind. Bloodbath says 50 metric or imperial. 50 what? I think they're metric babies, but they might be imperial babies. Favorite books are Trinity and Redemption by Leon Uris, Irish hero. Worth checking out. Gone with the Wind sucks. Sorry, Dan. No, that's fine. Opinions are appreciated. Wow, great book. Hi, Deb Richardson. It's so good. Love all the versions of 12 Angry Men, says Winterlake. Tanika 2 Cents says, good, and I'm glad you're around. I miss you, with the cool guy shades, old school ASCII art emoji. Henry Fonda. Henry Fonda's the actor in it. So that, yeah, and of course, to see a young Henry Fonda, like for me, Peter Fonda was old when I was, oh God, what was that? On Golden Pond? Yeah. But I remember seeing, but Peter Fonda was so good in Easy Rider. So good. But yeah, on Golden Pond, I think he was in with his dad, wasn't he? With Henry? Anyway, on Golden Pond. My God, I'm aging myself. The chat is over 50. We have over 50 people in the chat? Okay. Oh, maybe the leaving. You're right, Deb Richardson. That's almost exactly what's happening. You're right to be sad because the time is time for me to say goodbye. So anyone who wants me to give a Romper Room shout out, just say something in the comments so that your name pops up, and I'm going to take out my looking glass and say, I see Winter Lake out there. I see Deb Richardson. I see Robin the ADR Pro. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. Another one to say brings up Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I see you out there. Another one to say. Where's Doobie B? Where's Doobie? Doobie, do you see them all? Meow Garita, do you see Tanika? I see Tanika. A to B, I see you out there. A to B is here in the Romper Room. I see you through my looking glass. Another one to say, Ann McCallum's out there. I see you. I see you, Suma. I hope that you're all fine. I'm Dan D, and this is the end of the stream.